What's up and welcome back to another episode of Next Door Conversations with me, Amara. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about the Olodo Uprising. Yes, I'm sure you've all been seeing videos online. People are talking about the Olodo Uprising amongst Gen Zs. You've seen the viral clip with Ycee. We are going to be talking about that on today's episode. I'm going to be giving my own hot take on the issue, and I find that I am even agreeing with people that I normally would not agree with on this episode. So this is going to, I'm just giving you guys that disclaimer. It's going to be a lot on this episode. Hi, if you're new here, my name is Amara, and this is Next Door Conversations, my podcast where I talk about trending news, viral content, what's happening on social media and in the world at large. If you like what you're listening to, make sure that you're following the podcast, bring your notification bell so every time I drop an episode you get notification. Also, don't forget to share this episode with a friend, because I'm sure there's someone in your circle of friends that's interested in topics as these. And without so much yapping, let's get straight into the episode. So if you are watching on YouTube, if you're part of our YouTube family, hi. I just want to address the elephant in the room. As you can see, I have my onion kuzi wig on my head. It's not my wig, it's actually my mom's wig. Guys, I have a finite amount of clothes. A finite amount of wigs that I can wear on this podcast for you all to see. I am sorry, I'm not a superstar, okay? I'm just an ordinary girl hosting an extraordinary podcast. So please forgive if you see me repeating clothes, if you see me repeating wigs. Yes, I'm an outfit repeater, but you're an outfit rememberer, so which one is worse? Anyway, that said, let's get straight into the episode. There are certain people on this episode that I'm going to talk about that I normally do not talk about on this podcast. For the past 2 years I've been running this podcast, these people have done thing after thing, getting their names in the headlines, getting people talking about them on social media, which is giving them even more clout. They are clout chasers. And I have tried my best not to talk about them on this podcast because I just don't like what they stand for. I don't like what they represent. I've caught on to their grifts and I just don't want to give that any more energy. I just don't want to bring that energy into this platform. But this time around, we have to talk about them because I feel it's important that we have this discussion on the state of education, on the state of literacy, on the Olodo Uprising amongst Gen Z. So let's start this story in media res with Ycee. If you don't know who Ycee is a Nigerian rapper. He was really popular in the 2010s. Back during the golden age, I would go as far as to say it was the golden age of Nigerian rap. There was Ycee, there was Vector, there was the whole YBNL gang, there was Fino. People were rapping in their local dialects. It was beautiful, guys. It was very, very beautiful. And I loved that era so much. I'm not really a Ycee fan, honestly. I only know one Ycee song, and that's his Jackaban song. And in retrospect, I really hate that song, given who he's singing about. But yeah, Ycee from there. I also really love Ycee from Ridiculousness Africa. That's where I really know him from, when he was hosting Ridiculousness Africa. Sorry to pivot, but please, networks, media houses, I beg, bring MTV back. We need our own MTV. Gen Z needs their own MTV. We need our own MTV. We need our own BET. We need our own everything, okay? It's not fair that when it comes to our generation, you guys have just decided, no, we're not going to do that anymore. Like, these shows were profitable back then. We need our own 106 and Park. We need our own stuff. So please, networks out there, I beg, invest in this. There's a market. We will watch. I promise we will watch, okay? Okay. Now, Ycee was on the Afropolitan podcast and he had a lot to say regarding the so-called Olodo Uprising amongst Gen Zs. And if you don't know what Olodo Uprising is, it's actually a term that has been very popular on social media, on X and on TikTok. People have been talking about how a lot of young people are increasingly becoming stupid. I guess that's how I can describe it. It's that a lot of young people are, it's a current state of anti-intellectualism. People are not interested in being a part of the noble professions. Everybody wants to be a YouTuber or a streamer or do some dumb shit online to make some money. And that is basically how I understand the Olodo Uprising. I don't particularly like to paraphrase people, so I'm just going to play a clip of Ycee and then you'll get my reaction.
This Olodo Uprising that we even have right now.
Olodo Uprising?
Yeah, bro. It's terrible. I promise you. It's like we're trying so much to accommodate unintelligent people and ignorant people because we don't want them to feel bad and all these things. So now they're now like the majority. There's a massive attack on the educational system in Nigeria, bro. Aside from like the kidnapping and the Boko Haram, which is like, bro, those guys are literally going at that nerve center. Other factors, leadership not prioritizing things that are important. The society not celebrating academic excellence. People don't even want to go to school anymore. Like, it's just like, why?
It's Yahoo culture.
It's not even just Yahoo culture. Now we have Peller culture. So if we keep rewarding all these guys, like people see that you just have to just do dumb, crazy shit, just go online, maybe do some obscene, whatever, and you get clicks, you get numbers, like that's what moves the needle in Nigeria. Then what are you telling, the rest of the impressionable young people out there? No shade to Peller, I have nothing against Dude personally, like, bro, get your coins by any means, but at the end of the day, that thing is only going to be sustainable for a period of time.
I had a lot to say, some things that I agree with, some things I don't agree with, but we can all agree that shots were fired and a hit dog will holler, and holler they did. Peller made a lot of posts online in response to what Ycee said. I can't even bother to read them. I can't even bother to attempt to read them because if I try, I might get a stroke. Then Jarvis, who is Peller's, I don't even think she's his girlfriend, she's his situation. I don't know what they are doing, honestly. But Sha Jarvis had a lot to say as well. She said that she went to school and graduated and she didn't get a job. And so what do you want her to do? She talked about the fact that high IQ people cannot be cleaning toilets. Carter Efe, who is another member of Olodo HQ, also came out to give his own opinions on this. He said that he went to Babcock, studied biochemistry, and came out with a first class upper. I don't know if they're doing different things in Babcock, but as far as I'm aware, there's no such thing as a first class upper. So maybe this was just his way of getting himself in the conversation, some publicity stunt. Netizens were quick to dig up the fact that Ycee himself has featured on Carter Efe's stream. So why on earth does Ycee think he can have this moral high ground when it comes to the Olodo Uprising? When himself, he has been in the Olodo HQ, like he has featured there, he has socialized with said people that are being figureheads in the Olodo Uprising. A lot is being said online, and I'm just going to share my own thoughts. Is the Olodo Uprising a real thing? Yes, I will agree that there is an uprising of Olodos, a rising of Olodos currently amongst the Gen Zs, so-called Olodos. What I struggle with is the fact that there are certain Nigerians that genuinely believe that Peller, a streamer mind you, is responsible for the generational state of education and literacy, and the fact that so many young people are not choosing to spend years in the higher institutions, being a part of noble professions. I'm struggling to understand how people genuinely believe that Peller is the reason. Like, if we ex Peller, the problem is solved. If we ex Peller and if we ex streaming culture, the problem is solved. Let's look at some data, guys. Let's look at some data. 5 to 7% of the national budget was spent on education in 2025. This is well below the UNESCO's recommended standard of 15 to 30%. Nigeria's official education data repository has not published any new data on education in years. The last published data was in 2022. So they're not even checking the state of education. Government side of things, it is zero. Your government does not care about the state of education, about the state of literacy. They are not interested in investing in the future of Nigeria. They're not interested in investing in your future doctors, in your future lawyers, in your future pharmacists, in your future scientists, in your future artists. They are not interested in investing in your future authors. They do not care about any intellectualism. But they have funds to sponsor Hajj, to sponsor pilgrimage, to give terrorists. They have enough funds to purchase luxury cars and luxury apartments, to send their kids abroad, to give public officials a soft life. But they do not care about the future of Nigeria. We have not talked about the terrorists. The terrorists that are actively kidnapping children from schools. I mean, you don't think that factors in the so-called Olodo Uprising? May of 2026, JAMB, an official body, decided to lower the benchmark. They lowered the cutoff mark for higher institutions to 150, for polytechnics to 100, and schools of nursing to 140. They literally lowered the bar. But let me tell you something. Attending school, attending a higher institution, does not mean you're actually getting an education. It doesn't mean you are learning. This is the actual quality of the education that is being given in these so-called institutions. What type of education are they receiving? There are people that are fighting for their lives just to graduate. People that started off thinking that, oh, it will be a 4-year journey. And now they're in year 7 and they're still in the school. I would beat my chest and say that there has been zero educational reform in the last decade and a half, if I'm being honest, in this Nigeria. The Nigerian government, the people in charge, have no interest whatsoever in meeting international standards when it comes to education. Just days ago, Nigeria was delisted from the International Maths Olympiad. After 4 years of what? Lack of government funding. So anyone who genuinely believes that streamer culture is responsible for the Olodo Uprising, you are high. You are high. Peller is not the reason. Peller is a problem. Peller is a figurehead. He's a part of Olodo HQ. Yes. But Peller is not the reason why so many young people are intentionally choosing not to get an education. He's not the reason why so many people are deciding they are better off being content creators or streaming as opposed to going through the traditional route of getting a bachelor's or a master's. Your government is. Terrorists are. The fact that someone can literally spend half of their lives pursuing an education only to come out of school and not earn a livable wage is the problem. Follow the money, guys. So many young people are waking up to the fact that you can do everything right. You can write the exams. You can enter the higher institution. You can get the bachelor's or the master's or even the PhD itself. And you will come out and you will be hungry. Poverty will be chasing you. And so you have a whole generation of people that it has been drummed into our ears. We should not join bad gang, that we should not follow the route of Yahoo boys, we should not follow the route of people who are doing fraud online. We're also aware of the fact that if you follow this traditional route, in these times, all the dreams you had of buying a car or buying a house or starting a family, those dreams are going to have to be postponed for years to come. And you have in the middle of this people like Peller, streamers, content creators who have been able to sort of cheat the system, who have been able to make a profit off of being entertaining, if I'm being honest, being idiots online. It's not drugs, it's not fraud, it's not anything that we would associate with being the disease that happens in our society. Somehow we've come to the conclusion that they are a part of the problem. No, they are victims of the problem. It's insane. It's asinine to me that people genuinely believe Gen Z just woke up one day and we decided we don't want to be doctors anymore. We don't want to be lawyers. We don't want to be scientists. We don't want to do all these things that are great and make our society function. It's not like that. Yes, we want to be contributing members of society, but we also don't want to go hungry. And please, let's not even act like that's the majority. Because if you go to any higher institution now, if you just roam about any higher institution, you will see a whole bunch of young people that are begging for admission, that are begging to get admitted into these courses. How many streamers do we even have in Nigeria to begin with? So I reject the idea that it's streamer culture that is causing the Olodo Uprising. I reject that it's this boom in content creation and the ability to monetize media that has become the reason why so many people don't want to go the traditional route. If you want to kill a chicken, you don't start with the leg. You grab it by its wings, you pin it down with your knee, you get your knife, and you cut that neck. That is the approach we should have when it comes to the so-called Olodo Uprising. It is strange to me that someone like Ycee can come on a platform and complain about the Olodo Uprising. Yes, you have the platform, you have the proximity, you have the money maybe. You definitely have all the resources necessary to be a part of the change, to be a part of the solution. So why are you on a platform complaining about it? This is not limited to Ycee. It's so many people, so many so-called superstars, superstars that have gone abroad. They've made a whole bunch of money. They have influence. They have proximity to government. If the common man is complaining about an issue, you should not be complaining about that issue too. If you actually are capable of solving the problem, even if at a small scale. I really love superstars that put their money where their mouth is. I love superstars that will be able to say there's a problem and they can come out and, they have this scholarship. You can say, okay, they are training these particular individuals. They're helping build this school. They've done this, they've done that. I detest individuals that actually have the resources, actually have the proximity, can help in a certain way. But rather than do that, they choose to bitch about our problems online. And that's something that a lot of Nigerians do. We come online, we complain about a problem, and then we never do anything about it. We never say, okay, let's all of us come together, let's join heads, let's try and figure out, let's lobby, let's try and figure out how we can raise the minimum wage, try and figure out how we can speak with the Ministry of Education to see how we can try and institute certain educational reforms. No. It's just tweets online, just clips, and then the issue dies down. We're already forgetting the 40-something. We're already forgetting the 40-something from Oyo. That is the problem with Nigerians. That is the problem with us. It's all of us, let me tell you. Because if you think you're not in the SUA, if you think you're not in the Porta with us, you are there. So far as there's Nigerian under your nationality, guys, you are there. That's how I feel about this Olodo Uprising thing that everyone is talking about. I'm someone that I won't go as far as to call myself an intellectual, but I'm definitely deep in academia, guys. I have like 2 research papers I'm writing right now. I am deep in academia, okay? Before I graduated, I used to be a tutor. I used to tutor kids. And so I'm a big proponent of stay in school, get that degree. It's important. If not for this particular climate, maybe when you japa, it's very important, get that degree. But sincerely, I will not blame anyone who is deciding to chart a different path. I know so many people that have charted the traditional path and they came out with nothing in their hands. This is a problem that needs to be solved, and it won't be solved by the unseriousness that we're seeing online. It's a very serious issue. It is a very serious issue. Everything is in our hands, and we need to ensure that our funds are being invested the right way and in the right sectors. That's all I have to say on this topic. You let me know your thoughts as always on social media at Amara Nextdoor, #NextdoorPod, at @NextdoorPod_. What do you think of the Olodo Uprising? Do you think there's an actual Olodo Uprising, or we're all capping? Do you think that Peller is the problem, or he is just a figurehead and the real issue is the government and the terrorists, as I have said? Do you think that Ycee was right to sit on his big behind and complain about this problem, or do you feel that he actually has all the resources to make a change? And so we should be talking about solutions and not consistently pointing out our problems, as I do believe. Let me know your thoughts as always on social media, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye.